Hello, everybody.
What's up, guys? This is Brandon.
Kiana.
Got the next episode 2 of the podcast.
Yeah. And this one's going to be our favorite theme park rides.
Yeah.
We are both very big on theme parks. We like to go as often as we can. Hopefully, depending on how things go, we'll be going at the end of this year for Jackson's first birthday.
I would love that if quarantine baby don't decide to keep going.
Yeah. So we decided to cut this up into rides that are kind of like for all ages and rides that are more thrill rides. So I think we're going to do, in no particular order, a top 5 and obviously an honorable mention. And then we'll go into our thrill rides the same way. And yeah, we'll make sure we let you know what park they're from, why we like them. And I think because I started last time, I should let you start this time, just to be fair.
Hey, that works for me. Alright, so my first ride that I have on my list, my number 5, because I don't know if you said it, we're doing top 5. Kind of narrowing down to 5.
No particular order, though.
Yeah, no particular order, I think. But my number 5 is Mission Space in Disney World. Yeah.
So that's also on my list. I didn't really put them in an order, so I don't want to say my number 5.
Okay.
But Mission Space is also on mine. That is, for anyone who doesn't know, that is at Epcot at Disney World in Orlando. And Mission Space it's something. There's 2 choices you can go on. I believe they're green and orange.
I remember clearly wanting to go on, I think, green, because I was like, everyone kept saying how intense the ride was. And Kiana's a thrill seeker, if I can say the least. She loves amusement parks. She wants to go on every roller coaster she can go on. I think we have a list of places to travel to so we can...
Our next big place is Cedar Point in Ohio.
Cedar Point in Ohio, which I'm not looking forward to because I love roller coasters, but like I have a level of extreme that I don't like to reach.
Okay, Mission Space though.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So should we tell our personal story of Mission Space?
Yeah.
A real quick synopsis.
Yeah.
So we decided to go. I wanted to go on orange because if we're gonna go on it, who knows how long the line's gonna be. We have fast pass. So we go on orange. The whole time, like I said, for anyone who hasn't been on there.
Did we go twice?
We ended up going twice, but we weren't sure we were going to be able to.
Yeah.
And pretty much we were right in back of a daughter and her father. And on the ride, for the pre-show, they just keep kind of warning you, like, oh, it's intense. It's intense.
Yeah.
So eventually the little girl in front of us got so scared they got out of line.
She freaked out. She was totally like kind of doing okay, and then the closer we got to getting on, she started to freak out more and more, telling her dad, let's go.
Brandon kind of freaked out.
Yeah, because I was like, well, irrationally, I saw this little girl freaking out, so I'm like, I think I should just like try to calm down, because they really were saying how intense the ride was.
Yeah.
And then the little girl and the little girl makes the dad take her off because
as we're in the last part of the line, because as you know, usually with Disney rides you get in the original queue, then there's a pre-show, then you get another queue right before you get into your kind of like boarding lanes. And so they were right next to us. We got right to the end, and they freaked out.
Yeah,
and
which I felt bad because like once we got on the ride, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad at all, to be honest with you. It was really fun. It was like something I actually would go on again.
So Mission Space is a mission to, I believe, on the orange ride it is to Mars,
and then the green one is around Earth.
Just around Earth.
Yeah.
So you get on, and basically what it is I'm assuming that they said that this is how the Millennium Falcon ride is.
Yeah.
Where you kind of control like where this ride goes. You push buttons. You're a certain part of the mission.
Yeah. Side note,
the space crew.
Because of COVID and other things going on, us having a newborn, we haven't went on into Star Wars Land yet, so we don't know how the Star Wars rides are.
Yeah, we just know from like, ride-alongs and stuff. But I believe it is like the same setup where you push a button and kind of like you can crash and things like that. And the ride is different.
Yeah.
So you end up going to Mars. There's a lot of different options you can have. Of course, Brandon and I ended up being in the ride alone.
Yeah.
So it was hard to like push each button. But
Yeah.
I will say, I know that you can get a headache from it because I believe what it is that you're spinning.
Yeah.
You're like in a little shuttle and you're spinning, and that kind of gives you the feeling of weightlessness as if you're in space. So, but I feel like it's a great ride. I know I've seen on like different forums about, Disney and stuff that a lot of people don't like it because they get really bad motion sickness, but Brandon gets bad motion sickness, and I feel like we both had a really great time.
Especially with like spinny rides or like pendulum-esque rides. Like, I get super sick, especially the older I've gotten. When I was younger, I didn't used to get as sick, but now I do, and it's like, and Kiana loves every single ride that you can even think of. She loves the ones especially that you go in there and spin around and do all this other stuff. And, I was totally fine on the ride. And then we went on the green. We went to the green version, and Kiana was so disappointed.
It was almost as if like we weren't even really moving.
Yeah.
And after going on the orange version of it, it was.
To be honest, I was disappointed also. Yeah. After going on the orange, I was like, it's kind of like, what's that ride that everybody seems to love but we don't like?
Oh, Peter Pan.
No, not Peter Pan. It was the one where you're like.
Oh, Soarin'.
Soarin'. It's like kind of like Soarin', where you're just kind of like.
Nothing really happens. You're
nothing happens.
There.
You're just kind of there.
You get to click the buttons.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mission Space was also on mine, but I'll go ahead and give you another one.
All right.
So, kind of on that level, also in Epcot in Orlando, is Frozen. I know this is controversial because people love the ride that was there before, which was
dang, what's that called?
I don't. It's based on, I believe, Vikings or something like that.
Yeah.
But I love Frozen. We went. Still, I mean, I think to this day, Frozen's at its height. So thankfully, we did everything we were supposed to do. We got a fast pass.
Well, that's the thing. Back when we went on it the first time or whatever, I was super not into Frozen.
Yeah.
But to be honest, that was one of my favorite rides when we went.
Especially in Epcot, yeah.
Because it was legitimately fun. Like, I had fun on that ride. The storyline, like, it shows like pretty much the storyline of the first movie, right?
Yeah. I mean, not really the storyline of the first. I think that's the best part. Is it's not really the storyline of the first movie. It's more so just kind of what happened after, which I think they were having.
Yes,
if I remember correctly, they're having some sort of celebration.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called.
It did have the songs from the first movie.
Yeah.
Which everybody wants to hear. Let It Go, and that happens to be the best showpiece.
Well, no, my favorite part of it is like not to be funny, but the ending when what is it called? The snowman, like the big.
Oh yeah.
Like it says, like what do you say? Like
we're free.
We're free. No, we're free.
Well, the reason why the Let It Go showpiece is my favorite is because you randomly, like, Elsa sends you backwards.
Yeah.
As she's singing Let It Go, and it's because we had Maelstrom.
Yes.
Because we had never been on Maelstrom, I didn't know we were gonna go backwards. So it was really, really fun.
So Kiana caught a giggle fit.
Because I had no idea we were going to fly backwards. And then after flying backwards, we end up going into the dip after seeing, I don't want to call him a snow monster. It's horrible. I've seen this movie 1,000 times.
I know the name.
But after they say, we're free.
And you go down and get splashed. And,
and even though for everyone out there, I'm very afraid of animatronics, statues, all that stuff. I love those animatronics. And I believe they do the facial things where it's kind of like a 3D light shining on it. Mm-hmm. And so it's like kind of animatronic with a blank face, but you can see like almost like it's a real person because it's like a light shining the face on it. So it looks really, really great.
All right.
What's on next? Anything else on your list?
Yeah, Frozen wasn't on my list, but
okay.
My next one I would like to talk about is Nabhi River Journey.
Oh.
Now. How Kiana feels about Nabhi River Journey after the first time we went on it. The first time she went on it, she was like shook because of how amazing it looked. But then like you don't really care about Avatar.
No. First of all, we only went on it once.
Well, yeah, I'm saying like
no, but I'm saying and we ended up getting.
We got super lucky.
Yeah, but remember we got our Fast Pass for Flight of Passage because we looked it up. That was the ride that everyone raved about.
Yeah.
So we had waited in line for Nabhi River Journey. And even though it was the morning, we got very lucky and we only waited 30 minutes, which usually everyone says it's about like 2 hours in the morning.
It's like 3 hours in the morning.
Yeah.
And we got super lucky because it was like super new at the time too.
Yeah, I think it had just opened probably like
a couple months,
6 months,
something like that.
Before that,
yeah. And so like it was like I remember us walking past it later, and the line was
incredibly long,
ridiculously long. Like it was all the way to like the front of the entrance.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like for me, like you go on our channel. We have videos of us going on it, and it's one of my favorite electronics out of any park. Animatronics, yes. Out of any park, and like I always sing the song.
And the most frightening.
It's frightening to you.
It's huge.
It's like awesome to me. Like I would love for them to like. I wish they could add to it. Like when the new movies come out, which I think Kiana's not excited about, but when the new movies come out, I can't wait to see like if they add more to it or if they just leave it as is. But yeah, like I could go on that a couple times. It can get boring, like if you just like any other dark ride, but like it's one of my favorite dark rides that they have there.
I mean, they had great effects in it. The animatronic obviously is amazing. For anybody who hasn't seen the animatronic or doesn't know anything about the ride, you can look through our old videos on our anniversary trip to Disney World, and it is amazing.
Yeah.
Scary, but amazing.
Anything else on your list?
So to stay in Animal Kingdom, which is where that ride is, I also want to put on my list Flight of Passage.
Ooh, that's also on my list, and that was going to be my next thing, so we can talk about that.
So Flight of Passage is amazing. I mean, we had we had a fast pass for that ride, so we actually didn't go through the real queue where I believe there is.
High key sucks because we went back after going to Disney World. We went back and watched videos, and we didn't know that we really didn't go through the queue. Like we kind of thought we did, and then come to find out there was a lot more to it and a lot more crazier stuff.
Well, there's a whole kind of like incubator of one of the Nabhi, I believe they're called, which I'm kind of sad we missed out on it because I would have loved to see that in person because I believe it like breathes and like kind of floats in the water.
It like moves and twitches and stuff.
But as for the ride, it is, I guess like you said, it's kind of like soaring, but you get to ride. I don't really know what they're called. I don't want to butcher it, but you get to ride the little dragon.
Oh man, I actually really like Avatar, but like Keanu always say, I haven't watched it in years, so I don't really remember what they're called right now.
And one thing to keep note of when you go on that ride is that they breathe.
Yeah,
it feels like they're breathing.
It feels like you're riding a horse.
Yeah,
but a horse that flies and makes noise, like it's amazing. And then like it feels like you're flying and the wind's blowing in the air and you're flying against the water, so then you have water hitting you in the face.
At one point you smell, I think we dive into flowers or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like the sweetest smell ever, which is like amazing to have all those situations going on at one time.
And not only that, so you're riding next to like 5 other people. You have like 5 people above you, you have 5 people below you, and then you have to the left of you.
Well, one thing I will say, which we both kind of talked about,
it takes you out of the experience.
It does take you out of the experience when you're not at the top. So if there's any way, I know there are we've seen some YouTubers talk about how they found different ways to be at the top to stay in the experience. I would encourage that because there was a point where you look down because I think we were diving into the water. Yeah. And you look down and then like you do notice it, and it kind of took me out.
Even worse, when you look up and you see feet.
Feet, yeah.
And I think for me, I had bare feet right above me because somebody took their sandals off. But outside of that,
the ride is just amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's probably like outside of the Star Wars land. I haven't been there yet. It's probably my favorite ride. One of my favorite, like
in Animal Kingdom.
In Animal Kingdom, and just, to be honest, and like in Disney World itself, like a good show, like compared to a lot of other rides, like yeah, it's one of my favorite rides.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what else is on your kind of like for all ages list?
For all ages, another thing. All right. So in reality, it was hard to make the decision of which one was my favorite, but I'm gonna go with Pirates as my next one.
That's also on my list.
Okay,
so
great.
We can talk about that.
Awesome, because Pirates, that usually is, even though I know Keanu will probably say Space Mountain overrated as ride, whatever.
I love Space Mountain, but
would be
Pirates
the first ride we go on, but I always want to go on Pirates when we get there. Because even though Pirates sometimes can be long, sometimes can not be a long wait. Like I love, like my first thing, like when I go into Disney is being like, you're enthralled in this.
But I in my notes here before we get deep into this. Okay. I have in my notes here, because there are later on some differences feelings for different parks.
For me. Yeah, Disneyland compared to Disney World.
For this one, I wrote in my notes that I'm in love with the Disneyland version because we get to go through the restaurant at the beginning, at the very beginning of the ride.
I always forget the differences sometimes,
which is amazing. But I have here Orlando wins because they have more drops. Yeah,
but at the same time, it's because in Orlando, you have more room.
It was made after.
You have way more room in a lot of the certain rides. Like in my next ride, I'm going to talk about. You have more room. A lot more stuff happens.
I think we have the same.
Yeah, probably.
But it's definitely one of those things where I think that ride is so important because obviously it was like a day one attraction at Disneyland. Yeah. If I'm correct on that, I believe so.
I think so.
And it's just a good time, and it obviously launched a franchise of movies. But the ride is just fun. I love the beginning when you have, which I heard is not going to be happening when the park reopens soon. Yeah. If you're listening to this in the future, the park is closed because of coronavirus.
Quarantine, baby.
But the mist at the beginning, which I love, apparently is not going to be happening in Pirates for the time being until I'm guessing all this passes. So that's something I would miss. But most importantly is the smell.
Didn't they take that away in Disneyland?
No, they didn't have it in Orlando. I don't know if it wasn't working or if they didn't have it, but that's part of the reason why we love that ride. So I was really disappointed. Yeah. But that ride is the smell of it. Like I know they sell candles of it, and I always think about buying one because just once every couple of months, I just want to smell like I'm on Pirates of the Caribbean.
The smell of the water is like, I don't know why it's an addiction. Like I just really love the smell of that water, even though obviously like I wouldn't dare swim in it. No, gosh. But like that the songs,
smell of the fire when you go through the city that's on fire is amazing.
Then you hearing the songs,
yo ho,
and then what is it? The rum is what they want.
How they replaced with the redhead pirate.
Yeah. I love that ride, and next time, as soon as we get to go to Disneyland or Disney World, I'm going straight to there.
So I have a feeling that our last, because these aren't in any order, I have a feeling that they are the same ride. So I'm going to go ahead and say my honorable mention. Okay. Which is the tram at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Huh, no. I don't have that one.
No, that's my honorable mention.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I put that on there is because, first of all, obviously, it's no tram in Orlando. No. And
so it's special to LA, which is cool, or Anaheim, which is cool.
Amazing because our park here in LA is a bit smaller. Yeah. So, I mean, anyone who hasn't been there, there's an upper lot, a lower lot, and then the tram tour kind of is like the deep lower lot where you actually go and explore real movie sets. And it's amazing because you see stuff like the house from Psycho, the hotel. Norman Bates comes out. Well,
if you're lucky.
If you're lucky. Yeah. Norman Bates will come out and like with a little fake knife and act like he's gonna stab you guys. There is a King Kong experience, which is amazing to me.
You have Tornado. Or is that Twister? Twister.
No, you're thinking of the earthquake. So then you also go into like a subway, and you experience an earthquake, and then how like water comes and floods the building. Then they show you how they reset it.
Yeah. And then what's the other? There's a couple other ones. Jaws.
There's a Jaws moment, which I love.
Yeah.
And then there's a Fast and Furious portion, which I don't love.
Yeah, the Fast and Furious portion, which I thought I would love. You know, the first time you see it, it's like, oh, this is a party. It's family.
Yeah. So, and for anyone who's been to the park in Orlando, it's the same thing as the ride there, except for it's a part of our tram experience. But it's the same thing.
Yeah, same exact thing. Actually, no, it's not, because they tried to do the 3D in Orlando, and then it didn't work out, right? Something like that. I
don't know, but I know for us, no, for both, I believe they're 3D. You put on your glasses, remember? Because we have glasses for the King Kong experience as well.
But it's just weird because, like, they do the real acting, but they use CG a lot, and then isn't that the end of the tram ride? Pretty much. It's
toward the end.
Yeah, and then like, so you have that. The announcer is always when you get, I think it's a woman, right? Always.
No. Oh no, it's different people that run.
Well, every time we've gone. Yeah, we've always got the best one, which is I can't remember her name, but she's always amazing. So she gives us facts and all that stuff. The saddest part of it for the Fast and Furious thing though is that Paul Walker's passed away, so you don't get to. He's not in it, you know. But then you do pass one of the cars that he used, and I always take a video of it because it's one of my favorite cars.
Wrong, no, I believe he's in it.
No, he's not.
We have to watch that later.
Ludacris is in it. Later on, he's in it now.
Some other highlights of that tram tour for me, obviously, is you go through the gazebo Stars Hollow from Gilmore Girls. You go through different cars from the movies.
You see what, Knight Rider?
Yeah. You see the car from Jurassic Park.
And we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Jackson woke up, so we had to take care of that. But back to the tram. That's what we're talking about.
Well, and then one of my favorite things ever in that tram, although I will first say there used to be a Fast and Furious experience before the one now. Yeah. Where the cars would dance. Yeah. And it was just the way
I've seen video of it.
Yeah, the special effects of how it worked. But my number one favorite thing when I was younger and we would go, well, they still have the Grinch Who Stole Christmas, the set. But they used to have the Grinch come out, which was amazing.
Yeah, you told me, which sucks because I would love. Whenever we go to Universal for what is it? Humus? What is it called?
Huh?
For Grinchmas. There you go. It's always fun. It's always fun to see the Grinch, meet him, and all that other stuff. So if you get to see him, it would be awesome. But they don't do it. I don't know if they do it during Christmas time.
I don't know. We're gonna have to go back, obviously, to take Jax. So.
Yeah, and then
what's your honorable mention?
My honorable mention is actually different from yours. Hold on. It is Jurassic Park's River Adventure, which
that was so close to being on my list.
You know what's funny? It was. Obviously they've changed it now. They changed it to what is like Jurassic World
now,
which is from what it looks like, pretty awesome. Also,
yeah, I think we saw some ride-throughs that they just kind of added cooler things, but nothing really
like
different.
More updated stuff. But from what it looked like, most of the stuff is the same. At least in the beginning, I think it's like once you really get into the park area of it, it's when things change. Yeah. But like it still looks awesome. But me going on, I remember going on in 8th grade for the first time, and like being high-key afraid to go on it because
when I was little, I was also very afraid of it.
Because I just remember, you pass by on the bridge or whatever, and there's a big, I can't remember if it's the bridge here too.
No, for us, you just kind of like walk onto it, but obviously you're afraid because like it's dinosaurs.
See, no, in Florida there is.
No, I remember it's more of an immersive situation in Florida. Once again, because our park is a bit smaller here, more compact. Yeah,
so in the one in Orlando, it's you have the bridge. Just to explain to everybody, you have the bridge, and like the whole area is like dinoed out or whatever. And you can go on the bridge, and then you can, I don't know if you pay a quarter or if it's free, but you can spray people when they
I think you used to have to pay, but I think it's free now.
Sure. And I just remember sitting on the bridge, and right before us going on it, like me and my friends, and seeing people like do the drop or whatever, and I was like, bro, that drop looks intense. I'm not ready to get that soaked. Like, it's only 10 a.m. and like,
we'll never forget. We went to Universal. I forgot what the occasion was. I think it was the anniversary. And remember, we were in line for that. It was an anniversary because our anniversary is in June. It was so hot.
Especially in Florida.
No,
it was here. It was here.
City here.
Yeah.
And
so either way, hot.
I had like a tank top on, and I had this like little like crop top jacket on top of it.
Oh my
God! I lost that thing.
She lost it, I think, pretty much on that ride.
No, it was right before, because we were like just trying to make it through.
Yeah. And then I remember us trying to look for it on the ride, and you not having it.
Yeah, it was gone.
And us freaking out, like, bro, and looking around on the seat, not finding it, whatever. And, bro, with that ride, it's just so nostalgic. And, like, I just remember going through it, and my first time being on it and seeing the T-Rex come down.
Right before that drop.
And just terrified. Like, terrified.
It's still terrifying.
Yeah, you still jump from it. I love it. I love watching, like, you know, knowing when everything's going to happen now, because I've been on it so many times. That, like, yeah, it's just a really good ride, you know?
Yeah, I love it. So my last ride on the For All Ages list here is Splash Mountain.
So yeah, we both had the same. We both had the same thing.
But I wrote a note.
Okay.
That I personally enjoy Orlando's Splash Mountain more than Disneyland.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love them both, but the Orlando version,
does
you
more.
can sit next to.
Yep.
Your person. And like you said, it's a bit longer. I think like maybe like 2-3 minutes longer.
Yeah, 2-3 minutes longer.
A few more drops.
Definitely more drops.
So for me, it's just my favorite.
Yeah.
And the story is a bit different. You go to the laughing place.
Yeah.
It's a bit, in some parts a little bit darker, I would say.
Yeah, it is.
When you get to the laughing place, and I really enjoy it. So yeah, that's my last on my list. I know it's probably yours too. That's why I was like, we should do our honorable mentions.
Yeah, it's my last on my list. It's my favorite ride at Disney World in Disneyland. I always tell Kiana always wants to go around as soon as we get there, and usually it's cold. And I'm not one of those people that's about to get on a water ride when it's cold.
I'm just so excited.
But
because I want to maximize how many times I can ride that ride.
Which is true. But I always aim to go around 12 o'clock. It's when it's the hottest in California or in Florida.
Yeah.
And not as many people immediately want to go to the water ride around that time. They usually go around like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I always want to go around that time. And I'm like, all right, we've been on so many rides. Let's get it. And usually we have a fast pass for it, because if you don't have a fast pass for Splash Mountain, you're insane.
Yes, always. I mean, and then we always do our follow-up ride on it, where we just suck it up and wait in line.
Yeah.
Because why not be able to go on it like twice or even 3 times in a day?
Didn't once we go on we did the late night, and we
went in Orlando on our last day.
Yeah.
Right after the fireworks, we ran over like no one's gonna be there if we run over there, and then we waited in line for like an hour.
Yeah, weren't expecting
Worth
that.
It.
Thought we were gonna be smart with that one, huh?
So now,
let's
get to thrill rides.
Yeah.
Which is more, I feel like sometimes more my thing than yours, but I mean, you've been on all the rides, so obviously you're able to have a list.
Well, that's the thing. I have a lot. I like roller coasters. I actually love roller coasters. It's the ones, like I said, the pendulum, the ones that's like literally throw you in the air. Yeah. I don't like that. It is. I just don't feel well after I go on it.
Yeah.
AKA, I would say almost half the rides at Six Flags I can't even go on.
So you want to start with yours, or you want me to start this time?
Yeah, I'll start on mine. All right. So my first ride I'm gonna say is The Mummy's Revenge. than
So
Universal.
oh my
But
gosh.
specifically the one in Orlando, right?
And well, I mean, I love the one here as well. This
It's
also happens to be my honorable mention.
oh wow, okay.
So I guess we'll just go into a deeper dive about it.
Yeah.
But I agree. I have in my note that it is the one in Orlando that I love more. I love them both.
I just couldn't
Because it's the
remember which
same-
one that got changed because they.
Well, no, they're about the same layout.
Well, no. Remember when the
You're
newest
talking about
Mummy?
the story.
Well, yeah. When the newest Mummy movie came out, they took away all the old Mummy movies stuff, like the Brandon Fraser Mummy movie stuff, and Brandon Fraser wasn't even there anymore. And then they took away like a couple of different things. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember. All I remember is that in Orlando, they have kind of like this. The setup is that like you're on the set, and the set is cursed. Versus in Studio City here in LA, it's more of a you just walking into a cursed situation.
Yeah.
And I prefer the other one because they had some cool animatronics where like at the end, like the guy's like on fire or something.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoy that.
Well, that's the thing. It's the animatronics are still amazing,
Mm-hmm.
even though that ride's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
The storyline's still amazing. It still shakes me when you get sent backwards.
Oh, love it.
Like you feel the fire hit your face.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Another thing is that you can go on that ride. It won't be a long wait usually,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can get right back on it and do it again. And I've done that multiple times where I've gone to Universal, got on that ride, got off, got on it again, and then got off and got on it for a third time because that's how much I really do love that ride.
Even my dad loves that ride, and my dad's not even a roller coaster person.
Yeah, it's really it's a fun ride. And it's not even that long, but it feels like
But you
it
feel
feels
like
the
you
perfect amount of
you
time.
got your money's worth.
Yeah.
So number, I guess 5 or whatever on my list, even though we're not going in an order, is Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm, which
Ghost Rider. Okay, I remember that's a wooden roller coaster, isn't
that's
it?
their wooden roller coaster that we always love to go on
Yeah.
because it's so wooden coasters in general are like shaky,
Yeah.
more rattly.
You
than
feel
I
everything.
used to. Yeah, you feel everything, and it's one of those coasters where it's so quick and the drops are so high that it just catches you off guard every time.
Yeah.
And it's always that ride in Knott's Berry Farm that I'm like, oh my gosh, like we have to make sure if we don't go on anything, because you know in Knott's Berry Farm, the lines aren't extremely long, but they're pretty long to where you kind of have to choose if you're not going to be there all day. You kind of have to make a decision.
Well,
But
if
you
you're
make
smart, you
sure.
get there in the morning.
Oh, we, as avid park attendees,
Yes.
we are always there. So we rope drop everything.
Yeah. Because if you don't, you get there like any other person, 2 o'clock,
What's the
and
point?
and then you end up not riding. You ride 3 rides because
Yeah.
everything's long.
Yeah.
Especially at Knott's, where around 2 o'clock is when everybody comes, and
yeah,
then
because a lot of teenagers kind of have access to it.
yeah, and then they come later, and then you end up being like, all right, well, I've ridden everything, so I can go now, you know.
Mm-hmm. But Knott's Berry Farm is a smaller park. It's like, I believe, anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it might be California's first amusement park.
I'm new here, so I don't know.
I'm new here. I'm new here.
I'm 3-4 years new here.
I believe it is, and it's just a great park. It's on the cheaper end. It's just fun.
Yeah,
Really, really fun.
It's, if I remember correctly, I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite parks here.
Yeah.
If not my favorite park to go to.
I love Knott's Berry
I might
Farm.
not have any rides that are my favorite, but I
enjoy being at the
enjoy
park.
being at that park and having
Mhm.
fun.
So, what about you?
All right, so mine is gonna be the Incredible Hulk coaster.
See, that's also on my list.
It's not something we have here.
No, and I think that's why it's so special is because
It's in Universal in
here-
Orlando, by the
yeah,
way.
it's at Islands of Adventure,
Islands of Adventure,
in Orlando, which is the connected park to Universal Studios, which, like I said earlier, our Universal Studios is smaller. It doesn't have like an adjoining park or anything like that. So right off the bat, I'm like, we don't have that here.
Have its own Marvel Land. This is where you find it, and
Mhm.
I remember going on it in 8th grade, I believe. No, I went on it for the first time in my senior year, and we got on it as soon as we got to the park, and I remember just being like lit. Like, got through the line fast. We had a max pass, I think that's what they call it, and then got on a ride. Hulk launches you. You hear his scream.
I love that scream.
And then you just like you hear the music and you're just going. Your heart's beating fast, and then you get off the ride, and we went around it right again.
Yeah.
Because that's how like awesome it was. Like that first time you go on, I remember seeing Kiana's face the first time she goes on it. That she's terrified on her way there.
Yes.
Because
I always, even though I'm such a daredevil when it comes to roller coasters, I always get scared right before, especially when it's something like a launch coaster.
Yeah.
They're not usually my thing because like the quickness of like not having just a drop and just doing like the 0 to 100 things always gives me like anxiety. But it's still, when I get off, I'm like, I'm so happy I did that. I'm so happy I'm not like
she loved, like, I think that is one of your favorite rides. From that, like, and I can go on that ride whenever, with at least with a max pass, because that line gets pretty damn long, and in Florida heat, no.
Yeah, but I love that ride, so that was also on my list. So my next one, which I'm assuming is probably in your list, is Incredicoaster at DCA.
It is not.
Really? Disney's California Adventure, for anybody who doesn't know.
Yeah.
Which is Disneyland's adjoining
I thought about
park.
it, but no, it's not on my list.
So Incredicoaster, which used to be what is now Pixar Pier, which is kind of like a boardwalk themed area at California Adventures when it first opened, but now instead of California Screamin', it is Incredicoaster. And you start off, which, like I said, I don't love launch coasters because I get so like
but it's just like,
it's amazing.
Yeah. Well,
so you first of all, you start off with Dash like kind of pushing.
Yeah.
You
but
know,
it says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
And
then
like you see like the water, which would be like him running like aside your car.
Yeah.
And you just take off. And there's a loop, which I believe is the only loop in Disneyland or California Adventure.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah, and pretty much that, like, the experience of Jack, like, you know, seeing him get smaller, bigger, like, going through the tunnel and smelling his cookies.
Oh,
which
that's my favorite part, but I didn't even get to smell
the last time we went,
like,
she was too excited and just, like, all over the place. And I was like, did you not smell his cookies?
I didn't get to smell Jack's cookies.
Like, that ride is amazing, and I think that's the first ride we go on whenever we go to Disneyland.
We always go on that first, because even if we have a fast pass for later in the day, which we always at Disneyland we pay extra for a max pass because I'm not really a fan of like the paper tickets, which things might change now. They may not even have paper tickets anymore. Yeah. But for anybody who doesn't know, like in Disney World, you have your Magic Band, which is like the best thing. Yeah, and you ever get your fast passes if you're staying on property. I believe 60 days ahead. If you're not staying on property, 30 days ahead. Yeah. But in Disneyland, you just kind of go up the day you're there, go get your little paper fast pass ticket. But we always pay for Max Pass, which means we do it on our phone through the Disneyland app. So even though we always have one, we still just go first thing in the morning, go to California Adventures, go to Incredicoaster, and then go on it again later with our Max Pass. It's also even better if you go on. Isn't that the ride that if you go on at night, it's different? It's amazing because it's right in front of where they do World of Color. Yeah. Which is their show, so it's like even better because you can see the Guardians of the Galaxy
if you plan
ride.
It perfectly, you can see the Guardians of the Galaxy ride lit up. You can see what's it called? World of Color. World of Color, and then you also see the ride like that you're on. Yeah, and all the lights and everything. Pretty much the whole pier. Yeah, which I love. And that was mine, so I think you get to go. Oh, okay. I can't believe you didn't have Incredicoaster. It was close. I had to. When I get to my honorable mention, you'll see. So my next ride is X2. X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain
in Valencia.
Yeah, it's amazing. I remember like us waiting in line for that ride. I think we rode it. That was the first ride we rode on, or the second ride we rode when I first went to Six Flags, and me being terrified because all you hear is people screaming. You see fire. You see the actual like because it's one of those rides. I forgot what they call it. But it's one of those rides where you're kind of like hanging.
Yeah, your feet are hanging.
Yeah, feet are hanging, and then like
kind of like a split wing because it's like the tracks in the middle, and you have
like two people on one side, two on the other side, and then like your seat flips around, spins, so like you're all over the place. And so we finally I forgot how long we waited. I don't think we went on twice. I think we only went on once.
I think we went on once, and that is to this day like one of the only ride pictures that we have printed out that we purchased because it's hilarious.
Yeah, it is really funny, and I just know you probably heard Jackson in the background. He's sleeping. All I know is we got to the front. My heart's beating so fast. Kiana's like super excited. I'm sitting there like I don't know if I can do this ride. We get on the ride, buckle us in. You get in it. I'm holding her hand.
You go up the highest of highest.
Yeah, you go so high. They put you so high, and then you drop, and you're spinning, and you're going nonstop, super fast. At one point, you have like you're going so fast that you can't even hear yourself screaming anymore.
No, and then you just feel fire.
And then if your eyes are open, you see the fire, which my eyes are open at the time, so I see fire. I freak out first off, and then like all you hear is the wind blowing. Yeah. You can't hear yourself. Like at one point, you hear yourself screaming out in the beginning, and then that cuts out. Yeah. And for the rest of the ride, you don't hear anything. And then like you just hear wind blowing in your mouth and tears coming out your eyes, but it's so fun.
And I also love it because it's one of those rides where the line is so long, but once again we always like kind of pay for Flash Pass, which is the version of like a Fast Pass or anything like that. Yeah. So it's like it's just worth waiting for, even if you don't have that. And if you can't rope drop, it's just worth waiting for. And it's sponsored by Takis.
Even though I don't care for Takis, but yeah.
So, I cheated.
What?
I couldn't choose between two rides.
Okay.
So, I put them both on.
That's fine.
So, since we're in Magic Mountain, I guess I'll go ahead and pair it with this ride, even though they kind of don't compare.
What?
But I love Rock and Roller Coaster and Disneyland, Hollywood Studios in Orlando. So I'm
Disney World.
I'm sorry, yeah, Disney World. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ooh, no. So I'm gonna go ahead and pair that with Twisted Colossus at Magic Mountain.
Okay, so I have both of those on my list.
What?
If we were going in like an ordered thing, Rock and Roller Coaster is my favorite ride out of any ride to go on, and my next one was going to be Twisted Colossus. So we can start. Let's start with Twisted Colossus and then work our way.
So Twisted Colossus is so fun because it is hybrid. It's a hybrid coaster, right?
Yes, where you have two roller coasters going on.
No, hybrid as in it's wood and steel.
Yeah, it's wood and steel.
And it's amazing because like he had just said, you basically race against another ride vehicle.
So it's kind of like I don't know if you guys know back in the day, if anybody ever rode Dueling Dragons. Back in the day in Universal, they had a roller coaster named Dueling Dragons, and pretty much you would go head to head, and you almost would hit each other. And it was an amazing roller coaster to go on.
I've seen the videos where they like high five each other.
Yeah, I literally went on it right before it closed down. They broke it down.
But Twisted Colossus is so fun, because like as soon as you get on, it's kind of like a rush feeling, like oh my god, because like the people rush to put you on because you're like, okay, you want to catch you want to go against your person. I mean, your other car. So
let me tell you the story that I have. It's a quick story. So every time I go to Six Flags, I always get sick because Kiana wants to go on some ride. Like,
no, you don't like Riddler.
No, so we went on Riddler, but then I think the last time we went on Batman.
No, Riddler makes you sick.
Riddler makes me sick, but then Batman took it out of me.
Oh yeah, because Batman is kind of like a whatever, right?
Yeah. So then like I was not feeling well right before I got on Twisted Colossus. I felt horrible, and I think sorry, TMI. I threw up really bad, and then felt amazing afterwards. Right before going on Twisted Colossus, we go on Twisted Colossus. I'm so hype, out of my mind hype, because I'm just like, I'm feeling good again. Kiana's like kind of nervous because she thinks I'm like just loopy. We get on this ride, we're going through it. You think this ride is done? No, it's not done.
You
get to the top of the ride and you're going again, but guess what? You're not going by. It's another car, another ride vehicle right next to you. Group of people. We're full to the max. Everybody's hype. I'm like yelling at the other ride, like I forgot what I was like yelling something like go, like pumping my fist in there. We drop, and it goes so fast. You go into like 3 loops, and you see the other car going right against you.
Like you're gonna like crash.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. It's one of my favorite rides. It's the one ride I will ride every time we go to Six Flags.
I love that ride.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Yeah. But I had to sneak in Rock and Roller Coaster because that is like one of the best rides. Just not only because it has like an Aerosmith like soundtrack, which is amazing and funny, but also because it is like kind of the only roller coaster on Disney World's property, in my opinion.
The only real deal roller coaster.
Yeah, really roller coaster that you do a flip.
Yeah.
And it's once again, it's so weird because that's another launch coaster.
Yeah.
So it's weird that I love it so much.
You know, I love the beginning when you go into the studio and they're like talking about like, what are we gonna do?
Backstage passes.
How about we give everybody backstage passes? That's a great idea. I remember it clear as day. And going into the you're in line, you get into the cart, and you can either
stretch limo.
It's stretch limo.
Super stretch limo. Excuse me.
Yeah, so you can either be in the front, which is high-key terrifying the first time we did it.
Because it's just you look into like the black abyss.
Because we went on this last time we went to Disney World.
We have to tell them we went
3 times. Because it was more on me because I wanted to get a fire picture. Because every single time we get to the point to take the picture, she would have her eyes closed, be looking down, like just not pulling together. The last time we go on,
because I don't love launch coasters.
I know, but the last time we go on, we get the perfect picture finally. Yes. So, like, it goes 5, 4, 3,
and Steve Tyler's voice,
and Steve Tyler's voice, and you just launch.
And it's a different soundtrack every time, which is great.
I totally forgot about that. It is a different sound. It is a different song every single time, and you know, you're doing flips. It's not like Space Mountain where it's just dark the whole time. Yeah. You see lights and everything.
And it's LA themed, so you see like different little, like LA like nods.
So great. Yeah. And it's my favorite ride to go on because it's just like I can go on that ride as many times as possible, not get bored of it. I know exactly what's gonna happen.
Well, and it's because like this is obviously we went prior to Galaxy's Edge opening, and we went a week before Toy Story Land opening.
Yeah.
So, Rock and Roller Coaster and spoiler alert, my number one like ride were like the only really 2 rides to go on that were for older people.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where it's just like, oh, like this is a blast, and so we just kept going.
We just kept going on it because we're just like, what else? Like, there's a bunch of stuff to do here, but like we really want to go on a thrill ride. So like, let's do this, and I just really love that ride. I can't wait to hopefully, because we heard rumors that they might be changing it to this because they're doing a Marvel Land, so they might be changing it to like Iron Man.
No, maybe that can't be the case though, because remember,
you're right.
In Orlando, you can't.
So I don't know. Well, we did hear rumors that they were changing it.
Yeah, but I hope not. Because I love that it's.
I love that ride. So hopefully they don't change it. It's just a classic ride to me.
Yeah. So I guess we can just go ahead and.
Well, I have
do your last one, even though I kind of spoiled mine, because I mean, at least you know, or anybody who's been knows.
Yeah, I have on my list. Well, it's an honorable mention. 7 Dwarfs Mine Train. As Kiana knows, I love that ride so much.
It's so cute.
Yeah, it's super like, you know, cute. Like it's you know, the story of Snow White, and like you go in their mine. It's a roller coaster, and like it's not like rock and roller coaster or nothing like that. It's not extreme, but it's like a family roller coaster that you can still go on. But like they have really good hops, like they do the bunny hops or whatever.
This is the Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom in Orlando, yeah. It's if you like we had the Magic Band, we're staying on property, so we got a video with it.
Oh no, PhotoPass is what it's called. We paid.
Oh, it's the PhotoPass, yeah.
Because we were like, oh, why not? So we had no idea that included in the PhotoPass would be these little ride videos.
Yeah, so you get a video
like right off of a bank turn, and
you have like the dwarves singing their hi ho song, and I remember going on that ride and having it stuck in my head for the like next couple of days, and then
I think we also included that footage in a vlog.
Yeah, I edited that footage into one of our vlogs that you can probably find. One of my favorite rides at Disney.
It's amazing.
And Magic Kingdom alone.
That last scene is so cute. When they're dancing, and also you can see the witch like outside her door.
Yeah, you see the witch.
Snow White's dancing with the dwarf.
There's a part where after you go on, you do the drop and you're going on this curve, and in the video it's like slow motion, and we were in the front, and like that was the like one of my favorite moments when we went to Disney World, and like that's one of my honorable mentions that I wish I could put in my top 5.
Yeah.
If we were doing Disney World rides,
which we might do
later on, it definitely would be in my top 5 for sure.
Yeah. I think
my
number 1 ride is Tower of Terror in Disney's Hollywood Studios.
I could have told you that. Like Tower of Terror is amazing.
It's funny because I don't care for drop rides. They give me like a weird little like, but I think the reason I enjoy this is because it's so heavily themed, which when I was younger we had Tower of Terror here at California Adventure, and I was terrified to go on it, so I didn't go on it when I was younger. And then by the time that I was actually like, okay, like let's do this, they actually changed it to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So we don't even have it anymore. But the reason why I love this one so much, and I didn't say Guardians of the Galaxy, is because you kind of do a little ride before you just do the drops.
Yeah.
Which is amazing to me because it's like a little story. It's really enjoyable. But it's also just great because it's just like they do like different algorithms for the drops every time.
Yeah, it's not always the same thing.
Yeah, because we rode this 2 times or 3 times?
3 times.
That day, so we found out that it's not even the same drop system.
Yeah. I think the last time we rode it, because Florida rains all the time, it was like raining. It's super dark, and it was lightning, and we saw it. And we got to the top and dropped and saw lightning, and it was like we were like it was a perfect like way to end our day. Because I remember correctly, that was like how we ended our day.
Yeah, we were like, okay, we can go.
Yeah, and then like that ride is just amazing. Like I love the Guardians one, but Tower of Terror is like
before. It's just so
I think that's what adds to it. Like Guardians doesn't have that, but having that ride in the beginning and kind of getting you like prepped for the drop is always amazing. So like that ride I can go on. It was so funny because I was not expecting you to go on it as much as we did, but then
I just loved it.
Yeah, you loved it because I feel like it gave you the thrill that you needed when you were a kid that you didn't get.
But it wasn't so extreme. Like for instance, like rides like I think it's like Lex Luthor.
Yeah, like Lex Luthor's Doom something.
Yeah, Drop of Doom. It's not as extreme as that and Magic Mountain.
Yeah.
Where it's just like extremely high, then it's just a straight down drop, so fast.
Yeah.
This is like a bit more enjoyable. It's like more like a yo-yo effect, which is really fun.
Yeah.
And I just love it.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's our top 5s for our
just theme parks in general.
Yeah, theme parks in general, and for our thrill rides.
Hopefully, we get to add more experiences onto this list later.
Yeah, because I plan on doing more videos of different stuff about the amusement parks in general, like top foods to get or like.
Oh, that's totally gonna be a later.
Yeah.
Like top top
Man.
amusement park food.
So we have some more podcasts planned for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.